Hi and welcome to the only video on prime numbers. By the end of this video you should be able to work out what all the prime numbers are that are less than 100 and what exactly is a prime number. So let's start off with a little bit of a boring definition. A prime number is a number with only two factors. That is, it only has two numbers that divide evenly into that number. They're the ones that are called prime. The two factors will always be the number 1, because 1 goes into everything, and the prime number itself, because, well, every number goes into itself. Give you an example. 5 is a prime number because it has two factors, 1 and the number 5. That is it. There's no other number that goes into 5. 6 is not a prime number because its factors are 1, 2, 3, and 6. It has more than two factors. So our job is to determine what are the other prime numbers. Well, there's an infinite number of prime numbers, which has been proven, by the way, but that's for another video. Right now, all we want to know is which numbers are prime and which ones aren't that are under the number 100. So to do this, we're going to do a little bit of a sieve. And what that is a series of repeated motions that will get us down to only the final prime numbers. There are 25 in total, so let's begin. We start with the number 1 and we put a cross through it because it is not prime. Remember, the definition is that it has two factors, and 1 only has one factor, itself. So then we move on to the number 2. 2 is definitely a prime number. The only numbers that divide into it are 1 and 2. But every multiple of 2 is not going to be prime. What do I mean by that? Well, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. All the numbers that can divide by 2 are not going to be prime because they will also have an extra factor of 2. This is how the sieve works. We start with a prime number and then we cross off all the multiples after it. So the next prime number is 3. 3, only 1 and 3 goes into that. So now we're going to cross off the multiples of 3. 6, 9, 12. Yes, some of them have already been crossed off before, but that's okay. We're only trying to find the new numbers to cross off. After a while, we start to see a bit of a pattern. Next up, I'm going to choose the number 5. Now, crossing off the multiples of 5 is pretty easy because I just go down the column of 5. Those are all multiples of 5, so they're not going to be prime. They're what we call composite numbers, numbers that have more than two factors. Next one is 7. So I'm just going to do a quick little fast forward through here and cross off all the numbers that are multiples of 7. If you're not sure what the multiples of 7 are, what you need to do is start with the number 7 and then count 7 squares on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that will get you to the next the next composite number. Next I go to 11. Now the multiples of 11 are pretty easy. They're just all the double numbers, 22, 33, 44, 55, and so on. All of those numbers are composite because they can be divided by 11. Next up is the number 13. Now there's not a lot of new numbers for 13, so I've done a quick little cross off. The next one's number 17. Now the funny thing about this method is that when you get up to the number 17, all the numbers that are multiples of 17 have already been crossed off. And that's the same for 19, 23, 29. In fact, all the numbers that are left from now on are going to be prime because there are going to be no multiples of those numbers. See all those circled numbers? They are all prime. That means that only 1 and itself will divide evenly into it. There are 25 in total, and what I want you to do is to draw up a sieve just like this. So you're going to drop a grid from 1 to 100, don't groan. 10 squares across, 10 squares down, write the numbers from 1 to 100, and complete the sieve just like I have. Or you can print it off from the website. Either way, I'd like you to complete the sieve. Make sure that you have the prime numbers there in your book. That way, you'll be able to be ready for the next section. And that's it. Hopefully now you have an idea about what a prime number is and how to work out what all the prime numbers under 100 are. You could continue on with that process to work out any of the prime numbers that you want. But we're going to just focus on the numbers less than 100. That's it, and good luck.